The Armed Forces of Nigeria has a global reputation for courage, loyalty, and a high sense of professionalism. This reputation stems from exploits in the First and Second World Wars, as well as gallant contributions to global peace and security through active participation in various peacekeeping operations on the continent and around the globe. The will and might of the Armed Forces of Nigeria have also been tested in the last decade, during which various forms of security challenges reared their ugly heads on the home front. In all of these, the gallant troops have proved to be worthy of their calling as military heroes, willing to put their lives on the line for the nation. This episode of 30 Minutes is dedicated to our heroes in the armed forces who will stop at nothing to keep the peace and safeguard the nation's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Many thanks for joining us. I am Mitaire Ikpen. The troops take the bullets for you and me and take the battle to the enemies of state, to the point of some paying the supreme price and others losing limbs and sleep, for us to sleep with our eyes closed. Despite these sacrifices, it is perceived that the level of understanding and appreciation of the armed forces is not commensurate with their daily sacrifices. Lydia Sampson, in our first report, takes a look at the sacrifices of the armed forces of Nigeria and why it is necessary to remember and celebrate veterans, both living and dead.
That the sacrifices made by the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to secure her borders is unquantifiable sounds like an understatement. This is because the country continues to lose an uncountable crop of dedicated officers and soldiers who pay the supreme price while defending the territorial integrity of the nation even before independence till date. Some lose their lives. Many are deformed for life, while others are traumatized as well as emotionally and physically abused. Despite this, the Nigerian Armed Forces has continued to display exceptional gallantry in the fight against terrorists in the northeast Nigeria, crude oil theft in Niger Delta, banditry and kidnapping in the country, as well as repelling of illegal and external aggression. We won't attempt to mention or summarize the number of officers and soldiers who have been killed recently in the line of duty across the armed forces in the country.
Our heroes who have served our country, who have actually given their lives to Nigeria and Nigerians. Without the armed forces, for sure, Nigeria wouldn't have been where it is today. And all I can say is that we'll continue to thank the armed forces, and for those fallen heroes, may their departed soul rest in perfect peace. For the armed forces that are serving and still ready to work for Nigeria, we can assure the serving military personnel that the government of Nigeria will continue to support them in their services, and of course those who are injured, the government of Nigeria will continue to provide the best medical services for them.
We the widows have been struggling to create one thing or the other, using the Legion Act to look for how to generate revenue. Create revenue for the widows, where we can raise some fuel change to help them get accommodation. Because without a roof, you don't have a bearing. So give us a roof, because every widow after maybe outside the barrack, you start paying rent. As the year run by, you have this fear of how you pay the next rent. So if they can give us, maybe create a policy that we can generate revenue to have accommodation, mortgage, to have a roof over our head. This is a priority of what is the standing pains of the widows, a roof over our head. And some of the widows to be given employment, even our children. When we come knocking, some ministries are giving our children employment, but others should please open door to do that.
The irony is, whenever positive results are coming from the victory, or should I say gallantry of the armed forces, it is often at the cost of the lives of many who are either brutally killed by terrorists of the Islamic State of West Africa province, ISWAP, or in peacekeeping missions globally, with their families left behind without a breadwinner. Challenges faced by their widows and children can only best be imagined.
I would like the government, I'm speaking to the government, to create a policy that will enable the widow to have a sense of where to move on to. Because outside here, we don't have a bill, like they tell us, we don't have a bill protecting them, but the bill of Nigerian religion is what we'll be relying on. They should create a bill that made the widow know that their sacrifice of their husbands was never in vain, and a bill has been created to protect them, to generate whatever thing that will make them start life again from where their husband stopped.
It is important to remember them because so many have sacrificed to keep people in peace, to make homes at peace, and so many have given out the best they have. For today is a memorable day for them. For the widows, I always say to them that when they hear the sound of the band, it reminds them of that day that they buried their loved ones. But I want to tell them that they did not just bury their loved ones. They are in their heart. They live in us. Every veteran that we're looking at today live in us because the peace we have today has to do with a veteran. I'm always happy to say that a veteran should be honored. Nigerians should learn how to honor veterans. If we can honor them on days like this, we should honor them every day, not just on this day.
It is also ironic that after retirement, most officers and soldiers of the armed forces, despite being reservoirs of knowledge, are underutilized, and as a result, without constructive engagement and support, catering for their families become a Herculean task. To make ends meet, these gallant officers resort to menial jobs.
First, I would say that I've been honored to be invited to attend to this beautiful ceremony, and I was very impressed both by the ceremony itself and the level of the authorities present here. We share the common. We pay respect to the fallen comrades. We've been engaged in Africa. France has been engaged in Africa in many places, and so we share the same concern about the honor we must pay to the fallen comrades. So we offer our support to the Nigerian armed forces, and whatever they request, we are happy to provide to help them to take care of these threats that Nigeria has with terrorism, especially in the north of the country.
Well, for sure, for those who are serving, like I said, government is committed, to providing the best equipment, the platforms, and the necessary arms and ammunition that they require to continue to defend our country. But while doing that, some will definitely get injured and some will lose their lives. For those who get injured, all we can say is that the government of Nigeria has put in place, medical services that will cater for their welfare, and of course, not just the serving military, but also their families. For those who lose their lives, government will continue to pay for their death benefit and will continue to remember them at times like this.
It has not been easy, but we have to move on because that's the nation call, and also it's natural. So in life, you have to go on with it. No matter how difficult it is, God will make a way where there seems no way.
Experts say there is need to change the narrative. In the light of this, the country has continued to commemorate Armed Forces and Remembrance Day to highlight the plight of veterans, both living and dead, with a view to at least giving a voice to the multifaceted challenge they face after meritorious service to the nation. The celebration also reiterates why it is necessary to continue to strengthen the economy of living veterans while sustainably supporting families of dead veterans as a recognition of the ultimate price they have paid in service to the fatherland.
I cannot agree less, Lydia, as members of the armed forces should be adequately catered for to enable them perform their constitutional roles. Now, security experts note that whatever affects the armed forces has corresponding multiplier consequences on our national security and unity. Daniel Aderie in our next report brings us up to speed on efforts to improve the welfare of our military heroes and their families.
The armed forces of a nation exist to protect it and its citizens from direct threats and also help maintain peace and stability in regions that are critical to the interests of that nation. Nigeria is no exception, and the fame of the nation's armed forces dates back to the First and Second World Wars and other peacekeeping operations around the world. While soldiers are fearless and courageous, they also go through unbearable conditions in trenches and theaters of operations. They are drilled to walk through fire, cross rivers, and climb mountains to protect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the nation. Sadly, some of them pay the supreme price on the line of duty, leaving behind colleagues and families to mourn and remember their heroic deeds. A stanza of the Nigerian national anthem notes that the labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain for what has been done to guarantee the welfare of veterans and cater for the families of military heroes.
You see, an average Nigerian who offers his life by joining the military, first of all, let me tell you, I say he must be a superhuman. It is not the material aspect that attracts him. It is that commitment to the national cause. So no matter what you give him or you give the family will not amount to paying that supreme price. But as you said, welfare package is very, very fundamental. At least it serves as an encouragement. And to that extent, the government has been doing well. And as I always say, as a veteran, I know that I'm not being owed any penny, any kobo in terms of entitlement or allowance that I would say have not been paid by government. The government of the present administration, headed by President Muhammadu Buhari, has done a lot, but there is more that the government is doing and that the government needs to do. Taking care of the families of the fallen heroes, their children, their widows, and all those who depended on them while they were alive. So that is the area where the government needs to concentrate more to ensure that all the members of the families of the fallen heroes are well taken care of, their children are well educated, their widows are well taken care of, and in every aspect of this, because it has a message to send to even the surviving soldiers, those who are still serving. It sends signal, the kind of life their own loved one will experience if they are not there, and it will impact on their performance in the field. And as you know, we are all engaged in the northeast, in the northwest, almost every part of the country. Our military are involved in one operation or the other. So it's very important that they see the kind of commitment the government has in taking care of the dependent families. Then they will know that even if I'm not there, I know that my family will be taken good care of.
The challenges and obstacles faced by a soldier are sometimes too daunting to be told, and some believe that a soldier's service should reflect in his or her welfare. Some veterans believe that the military, in terms of wages, welfare and remunerations, have had it so good since the Buhari-led administration came on board. They also believe a lot more can still be done to improve the existing welfare structure.
Talking about welfare, although the military job is just beyond a job, it's a vocation. And beyond paying your bills, you really have the passion to carry on with the military job. But our salaries are being paid, all allowances due to us are being paid to us, and all other aspects of welfare, talking about medicals, has been taken care of. At least personnel, the wife and the 4 children, their medical issues are being addressed by the military and the authorities. So everything about the welfare of a serving soldier, for him to be productive, have been taken care of. Houses have been, accommodation have been built to accommodate all our personnel, and in short, every issue of anything pertaining to the welfare of personnel is being taken care of.
While the soldier lives a life of solitude, most times deep in the trenches and deserts, having an active social life is a mirage, as the job most times demands they remain incognito. But upon retirement, blending with civilians becomes an uphill challenge, with occasional military and civilian fracas.
Anybody in service I'm fond with that is of the same seniority with me, might start by telling him, you bagger, you this, you that. And by so saying, I'm not actually abusing him, I'm actually hailing him. So every profession has its own jargon. And while a civilian might feel offended by when he's called a bloody civilian, it could actually be a compliment, so to speak. The militaries, as we speak, for 23 years now, so more than that, we have been in the forefront of guarding and guiding the democracy that we all enjoy. And democracy has come to stay. But the military also need public support. It is the perception you have of it that gives the soldier, gives the military man the morale that he needs to continue to soldier on.
Nigerians, on the other hand, believe the legacies and stories of our military heroes must be told and taught across generations to drive home the values of selflessness, perseverance, courage, and bravery.
The government is trying to some extent, but they could still improve, because they have really satisfied us trying to protect the country, to make sure there is peace in the country. So if we have to celebrate them, we can still improve on the way we celebrate them, so that they will be remembered. We should try to take records of those, the wives, the relations that are available, and the government can take statistics of the number of family they have, and then make allowance for, in the budget, how much they can be given to take care of the children, the wife, and other relations that they left behind. So that others that are serving us now will try to have the confidence that when they are no more, then their relations will be taken care of, the children and the other siblings.
Like a kind of increase their salary, so that kind of they have, especially the way the country is now, the hardship of food, everything. Whenever their family are okay, they will be okay too, maybe at least. Yeah.
Somebody that laid his life for the security of the nation. I think Nigeria should do more for them. Because it's easy to love someone. Some of them, they newly married, they died in the battlefield. That widow, what are they doing for them? What are they doing for the children? So I don't think they have not done well. Some that have died, there's nothing you can do again. It's just to all of fame for them. We cannot do that of all of them because there are many. Nigeria are losing soldiers. But what is supposed to do is their children and their wife. There should be a program put in place to take care of them. All their children, government should be able to give them free education to university level. And when they leave school, they should be able to give them gainful employment so that the woman, the widow, can be happy. You know what it takes? If you have seen fatherless somebody, you know what it takes. How they feel, like somebody without father. And all the widow without, you see, young widow, you see, someone that has just married, maybe 3 or 4, maybe even. And I've seen a situation when a soldier married not quite some months, and he died. So what that type of a lady, government should be able to do something for them to alleviate their suffering, and also to encourage others that they would like to lay their life for their country, for their nation.
If you go around to the barracks, or if you meet any retired army, more especially the junior officers, they are cry about their welfare. Their families are not as good as we are expecting, because the army, they are the one protecting the country, they are protecting us, and they even sell their life. They sacrifice their lives for them. So if you go everywhere in Nigeria, every state, if you go, you will see, you will sympathize them. You will sympathize their family as they did not do anything for Nigerians. So what the government, I think government should at least double her effort toward those people. Even the NGOs or individuals who they are well-to-do, they should be assisting them so that the rate of criminality will be reduced. Because they know how to operate guns, they know how to go to bush, and you are leaving them with hunger. What are you expecting? Those criminals will hide them, and they will do work for them. That's why we are in this country. It's one of the factors that bring in criminality in Nigeria.
Though time may pass and seasons may come and go, the labour of our heroes past shall never be in vain.
Many thanks, Daniel, and may the labors of our heroes never be in vain. The Armed Forces of Nigeria needs our collective support and understanding so that their daily sacrifices will not be in vain. And one way to give your support is to ensure that if you see something, please do say something, because security is everybody's business. That's where we leave it for 30 minutes today. And you can be sure another interesting episode will come your way next week. Until then, stay safe and be well. I am Mitaire Ikpen.